I've got the most yummy, easy, and fast fish recipe for you at home. This Mediterranean roasted fish takes only a few minutes and you will be a kitchen hero when you make this because it is so good. First of all, you're gonna start with a couple of fillets of whitefish. You can use cod, you can use haddock, you can use amberjack, anything that's a firm whitefish with a mild flavor. I've got 2 fillets here. You could actually make this recipe with up to 4 fillets. You want about a 5-ounce piece of fish. That's a serving. So let's get started and then I'll talk, a little bit more about the ingredients as we go through and I start cooking our fish. So in our first dish here, and so you need a shallow dish. It doesn't have to be square, it can be round, just a plate or something like that. In our first dish, we're gonna put in the juice of 2 lemons. Now, you can see this is about a 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of lemon. That's about 2 lemons. Then I'm gonna put in the zest of 1 of those lemons right in there. I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So this recipe has a little butter and a little bit of olive oil in it because we're talking olive oil. So instead of using all butter in this recipe, we're cutting the butter down by using 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and 2 tablespoons of our yummy extra virgin olive oil. So there we go, that is about 2 tablespoons right there. I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit. Next up, I have another dish, and in that dish, I'm gonna put in, let's see, let me find there's my flour. I'm gonna use a little whole wheat flour. You could use whole wheat pastry flour. If you're gluten-free, you could use a gluten-free flour. So that's about a 1/3 cup of flour right there. Now I'm gonna spice things up by putting in some spices. I have some smoked paprika. I have some cumin, some coriander, sea salt, and last but not least, some red pepper flakes. You can adjust the amount of red pepper flakes to your taste, but you do need just a little bit to have some zippity-doo-dah. It'll help point up the other flavors. I'm being silly with the zippity-doo-dah, but it really will help the other flavors really sing. So now I have my seasoned flour. Last thing I'm gonna put in is just a little bit of ground black pepper, and of course I'm using a pepper grinder. And this is a peppercorn mix I like. And I love this pepper grinder because, boy, look at this. It's really putting out the pepper. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is take my fish fillets and I'm gonna dip them first in the lemon juice and then I'm gonna put them in the flour. And since this is a messy job and it's easiest to do with my hands, I'm gonna put 1 glove on. And here we go with my lemon juice mixture and then my flour, and then I've got a pan heating right to my right, and I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in that pan and let it get warm before I put my fish in there. So let me just get it moving a little bit. Here we go, and I want to get it coated with the flour on both sides. And there's one. Oop. And I'm even going to put it on the edges. So there we go. And then let me take my other one. And you notice while I do this, I'm only using 1 hand. Now, I have a clean hand now, and as soon as I take the glove off, I'll have another clean hand. That's why I like using the glove and also using the one-handed method. So here we go. And one of the things that you do want to do when you coat your fish with the flour is you want to make sure and shake off any excess. So now my pan is hot and I'm going to put my fish in there. I'm not sure you can hear that, but it did make a lovely, nice little sizzle as it went in there. All right, now I'm going to continue to put my flour on my other piece of fish. There we go. And I'm going to get it on the edges too. I found this fish at the regular grocery store and it was frozen. So I just defrosted it, and then what I did was pat it dry with some paper towels before I put it in the fridge. Okay, there we go. I've got a nice sizzle going for both of those fish. I'm gonna take this glove off, and you can see you have a little bit of flour left, so you could actually do a few more fillets in this. But I thought today that I would do it with only 2 fish fillets because many of you are cooking for just yourselves or you and a partner. So I'm gonna set this aside. Actually, I'll put it over here so it's not in our way. And while that fish is cooking, what I want to talk to you just a little bit about is what you're gonna do next. So I have 3 garlic cloves here that I have grated with my microplane, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the remaining lemon juice, and I'm gonna stir it up. And now I've got definitely a nice little sizzle going in my pan. So I'm making sure that I've got the garlic all nice and combined in here. And I'm going to use that as kind of like a finishing sauce at the end. So this fish will not take long to cook. It should only take about 3 minutes per side, maybe a little tiny bit more depending on how thick your fish fillets are. So I'm going to move it over a little bit. And what you're looking for here is you're looking for your fish to become opaque and flaky. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my first fish over. Oh, it's beautiful. And I can already see that that fish is getting nice and white. And now I'm going to flip my other fish over. And so not only the fish is getting a nice crust with that flour, you know what else is happening? It's kind of going to thicken up our sauce with the flour. And our sauce is going to be the lemon juice mixture that I made a little bit earlier. So that is the butter, the olive oil, the lemon juice, the lemon zest, and then finally, last but not least, that yummy garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Oh, can you smell it? Oh my gosh, I wish you could. Okay, now in just a minute, my fish is going to be done, and when it is, I'm going to take it out and show it to you with one more thing in the fish, and that is I've got a little bit of parsley here. So I'm going to just move this stuff over so you can see it a little better. And I'm going to test my fish. You can always cheat, y'all, by taking a little knife, a little sharp knife, and going right in the middle of the fish to see whether it's done. And it should look white, and it should look opaque. And those babies are almost done. They've got all that wonderful garlic on them, that yummy lemon sauce. So I'm going to turn off my fish. And now one last thing. It'll stop burbling in just a moment. I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of fresh parsley. And that is it, folks. Now, you can serve this up just like this, but you know what? I always have to have something to soak up all that wonderful garlicky lemon flavor. So what I do is I serve this either on pasta. One of my favorite ways to serve it is on that chickpea pasta. I serve it on pasta, you could serve it on grains, or you could actually just put it in a bowl and just a shallow flat bowl, and then you could just use a little bit of rustic whole wheat bread to dip up some of the juice. I hope you enjoyed this Mediterranean roasted fish recipe. Super easy, you're gonna love it. Make it at home, let me know about it, and send a picture.